Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Matic TV, the YouTube channel and from the reality. And tonight that's what me and Keane are here to do. Kick off. Keane, how's life, mate? Everything okay?
Yeah, all good, all good. You know, this week has just been absolutely crazy between Manchester United and also Conor McGregor fighting this weekend. So as me being a sports podcast, I'm doing a lot of coverage on that this week. So literally just spoke to someone from Team McGregor literally just 20 minutes ago. So stress to the hills, but Euros on tonight. Here now to talk Manchester United. So all busy and all excited.
That's it. That's just it, guys. If you are interested in that sort of stuff as well, do drop over to Keane's channel. There it is. There. Have you changed the tag on it? Sports Armchair, mate. Is it new?
Yes. So we are just a full sports podcast now. So we were very football focused last year, but now we're talking all things, you know, MMA, basketball. Tim's hosting over there now too, and also we'll be talking a lot of MMA, WWE stuff as well. So we've a lot more to come.
Good stuff, good stuff. Anyway, into what is the merry-go-round of Manchester United on a summer, well as an international tournament on and a transfer window open. And guys, if you are of the personality that likes reality and straightforward talking, then give that subscribe button a bit of a click there and stay tuned to the notifications as well, because notifications aren't working, guys. So I know they're not, because everyone's told me. We're just having to deal with what we are with YouTube at the moment. But if you get a chance, reboot your notifications so you do find out when the latest videos are coming, because when the season starts, it's going to be mental. There is loads coming up and loads of new stuff coming up as well. So hit that notification button as well while you're at it, guys. And also just give the video a like. I'm not going to beg you. It's free, so why not? Give it a thumbs up. If you want to give it a thumbs down, I couldn't give a shit. I don't care. This channel's not for you then, is it? Anyway, cue the trolls. Here we go, Keane. Let's get into it. We're going to talk reality. First of all, mate, a lot of people in football look at it from the outside. Football fans, we look at it from a fan's perspective and we go, why aren't United doing this? Why can't they do that? It just seems so obvious doing this way. Tell him, do that deal. Don't give him a contract. Make the money for that new contract. Come in. It is obviously a lot more complicated in reality. We know this, but there are some things that are quite obvious to us. So, guys, in the comment section as well, guys, drop me your FIFA manager action that you would do this summer right now. I want to know what you think, guys. Drop yours in the comments. We'll bring a few up as we go along. We'll see what Keane says later anyway. But first of all, Keane, Diogo Dalot, mate. Apparently, interest from Ancelotti at Real Madrid, obviously now as well, has really put himself up there last season, this summer. Good under 21s. Got into the Portugal first team squad as well in the major tournament. Had a couple of games, done very well. He's now put himself up there. He's maybe even added a bit of value to his tag as well, mate. United are after a Real Madrid player. We all know this, in Rafael Varane. Is there any chance that United can do an obvious thing here and make this sort of deal happen? Sort of finally, let's just say, handshake, put everything to bed with Real Madrid, because we know we've got bad blood in terms of transfer dealings behind the scene. What's your reckoning to this, mate? I mean, first of all, Dalot, mate, would you let him go, knowing that we may need a bit of cover at right back? Or is it a case now that, you know what, centre-back is key? Let's just make this deal happen.
Yeah, centre-back is key. And I think we all know it's abundantly clear on Wan-Bissaka is the first choice right back. So Dalot wants to play first team football. I think you look at Real Madrid at the moment, like Carvajal is aging, has his injury problems. They don't fancy Odriozola at right back, and they had to play Federico Valverde at right back last season for large stretches because they didn't have someone to cover there. So I think you look at it and say, Dalot's probably better going to Real Madrid because he probably has more of a chance of game time because Carvajal's on the slide. You know, Spanish league would suit his game a lot more. Like, I think you look at the English game, a lot of times with Man United, he gets caught in that channel. In that channel when teams still pump a diagonal, you won't get that much in Spain. So I think you have to say maybe you can use him as a make weight, maybe offer Madrid a cut price deal for Dalot, in the respect that you have the Varane deal on the table as well. Also seen reports yesterday, I don't know if you've seen them, but they're also interested in Van de Beek on loan for the season as part of the Varane deal, which I think, look, there's two ways about it. If Donny goes there on loan, there's the possibility of Pogba leaving this summer. So, like, the way I see it is, for me, I'd rather see Dalot go in the other direction and keep Donny this season. Because I know there's two kind of rumours coming out with us in Madrid for this Varane deal. I'd rather see Dalot go because he doesn't have a future at Man United as a first team right back. He doesn't suit the English game. And I know Wan-Bissaka is a good defender. Yes, he can offer more going forward, but we finally have a right-sided winger now in Jadon Sancho who can give us that extra dimension on the right-hand side, and maybe it takes the burden off Wan-Bissaka to be that kind of attacking fullback because we've a natural specialist on that right-hand side. So I would say I'd push for the Dalot move to Real Madrid because it suits both parties. It's a doable deal. But as you said, like, both clubs have bad blood. David Beckham, Angel Di Maria. You look at the failed fax machine. The fax machine situation. Do Madrid kind of screw United over? Because you look at situations and Ramos is looking for new contracts. He's used Man United's name how many times? So I think, is this going to be a simple deal? I don't think so. I think that there is going to be a couple of complications with Varane. I think it could really stretch down to deadline day almost. I think that's a complicated deal because you look at the two clubs, you look at the two egos, and also Varane's in his last year of his contract, so Madrid are going to try squeeze out every last penny that they can for him because they're strapped for cash. And like Ivan's comment here, if a player's good enough for Madrid, how come he's not good enough for United? Different leagues, pal. Different styles to play.
Well, also what you've got to look at here, it's interesting Big Ron came up with that one there. I was listening to the news today, and this just doesn't go for Barcelona. This goes for Real Madrid as well, because the new La Liga salary cap is coming into effect now, and the amount of players, I think it's somewhere near hundreds of millions that Barcelona have to shift off their wage bill to meet this new salary cap. And they've got the biggest wage in world football now as a free agent in Lionel Messi. Real Madrid are in exactly the same boat, mate. No revenues, nothing to balance the books. New stadium already under construction. Both of these clubs right now, I think, are sitting ducks, mate. And Real Madrid's bargaining power, I think, has gone. I think it has gone down. There's no way that Real Madrid, under this new La Liga salary cap that's kicking in, which is affecting Barcelona now as well, are going to be able to negotiate a new deal for Rafael Varane. So the sticking block in this is trying to keep face and get the best deal, like you said, for Real Madrid, because I don't think Real Madrid are going to be able to invest in their squad to attract the right players on the right money while this new cap is in place. And Varane is on big money already and makes room, because I guarantee you something, Alba will be nowhere near what Rafael Varane's on now. That's without a contract extension. So
isn't Alba on like 350 bags a week? Like that, he's on that as well.
No, I don't think they can afford it, mate. Honestly, there's numbers being brandished out. I don't think that's necessarily the case. It really can't be if this rule, and it is a real deal. This salary cap in La Liga is genuine, and Real Madrid have got a bill and a half. We know this. We know the bleeding money. For me, I think it's like you just said then. I think it's a case of Real Madrid just need to get the best amount of money they can get out of a tough situation with Varane being in his last year of his deal. I think that's where it actually bites Real Madrid and puts us in a favourable position.
Personal terms won't be a problem here, Adam, as well. I've seen reports that like Real Madrid have offered Varane $7 million a year, whereas Manchester United are offering $12 million a year.
Well,
when you talk about wages and structure,
exactly, Keane. This is what United do. One area that United smash everyone else out of the park is on wages and wage structure. Well, wage structure that doesn't really suit the club, but suits the players coming in, as we know now because we're struggling. But Manchester United can actually afford these wages because of the revenues, because of the turnover, because it's not all upfront money. It's just generated and it's rolled through the books. It's easy for United to maintain that. And with fans coming back, I think United are in a powerful position right now. There's people out there saying that the Varane deal is not realistic. It is realistic. It's as realistic as they come, because Manchester United have found themselves this summer in a very, very, well, they're in a strong position because there's no one else in for Varane because no one else will pay his wages. And Real Madrid are stuck with this new salary cap law that's in La Liga, and they can't afford him, mate. So if Dalot goes, there's a wage straight away off our bill. There's some money off Real Madrid on their price tag for Varane. Is this not as straightforward as it looks?
This straightforward. And Adam, you also have to consider Juan Mata's wages have been cut from 160 to 70 grand a week. So we're already saving 90k as well. So there you go. There's space for like Varane's wages in there. And one thing you touched on there, Real Madrid and their situation with financially, like the fee they offered, apparently they're offering for Donny for a loan fee is 2 million, right? 2 million. We paid more for Falcao for his loan fee. Like that's when the market wasn't as inflated as it is now. So that should tell you how kind of struggling they are financially at the moment.
Exactly.
And I think this is where, like, remember Ollie, I'll allude to this. Remember when the pandemic started last year and all the interviews were happening over Zoom? Ollie said something that he admitted later on he shouldn't have said. Ollie said that United in this climate can take advantage of the market. Now, obviously, someone at the club at the time obviously told him to refute them remarks. But you look now 12 months later at him, that statement is no more true. It's very true now. We can take advantage of this market because he said fans are back. Like, financial fair play isn't there. And even at that, we're never going to be hit by that because of our revenue streams compared to other football clubs. So I think you look at this situation with Varane. I think you look at it and say it's a deal that can be done. We should be ruthless and go out and get it done. And look, if it means Diogo Dalot is sacrificed, because let's face it, he's a player who will not play ahead of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I'm going to say straight out why. We paid 50 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's a player who is more acclimatized to the league than Dalot is. Ollie's not going to take a risk of playing Dalot as his first choice right back next season. Not a chance in hell. So you have to say, if Dalot's not going to be happy, you don't want any discontent in the camp. If he wasn't happy, that's the reason why he went out on loan. Ollie's not going to want any discontent and any bad harmony in the dressing room. So I think it suits all parties. Get Varane, give the Madrid their kind of whatever deal for Dalot. Number one, that for Dalot, it's not a Galactico right back. He won't demand huge wages. Mata's wages have been more than halved. So why not? Why can't we do this deal? It's doable. And the fact of the matter is, we're offering Varane 5 million more in personal terms than Madrid are. Mm-hmm. So we're in a strong position. With Murtaugh in there now, his negotiating seems to be better, especially when we look at that Sancho deal.
Yeah.
All things considered, that we have the tools to do this deal. It's just depending on, timing. I think when the Euros is over, you're going to see a lot of things speed up. Hence why when France went out, Camavinga talks are happening as well.
I mean, on that comment there, mate, I was listening. I mean, I take Jim White with a pinch of salt. I really do. But they do have contacts. They do talk to football clubs, representatives, agents, and so on and so forth. And he said, a football CEO, a football director of football, whichever we want to call it, and whatever role it is, when talking regarding the transfer window and how quiet it is and what's going on, their words were, as soon as that final whistle blows on Sunday, be prepared for this transfer window to explode like you've never seen before. It is all going to go down. I'm a little bit happier knowing that, United have already got wheels in motion before the proverbial really hits the fan, Keane, because it is coming. We know this tidal wave of transfer dealings is literally round the corner. The negotiations are taking place everywhere now, and we are literally on the cusp of everything going down. Looking at the Varane deal, looking at Camavinga now as well, Keane, mate, and them both together. Cheers for that, Vera Vlogs. Love that comment. Bang on. Camavinga, not your typical DM by any stretch of the imagination, is what some people are calling the modern day holding midfielder. He looks more of a number 8, a classy style, very Pogba-esque, I must say, in the way he moves and what he does. He's just better in the tackle, I think. I think he's a bit more robust and likes to get stuck in a little bit more than what Pogba was. But very similar in the way he moves for me, gets up and down the pitch very, very well. Good. Not being a strict CDM, mate, is this now showing that United are pushing more towards the centre-back as the main player and saving the money on the CDM, because that is going to cost a lot more? I'm not saying Camavinga is not the right man. He's a different type of CDM. He's not an out-and-out CDM, let's be honest. But like Liverpool, when you've got a proper defence behind them, it gives you a little bit more freedom in there, doesn't it? Is that why United probably are going now in for the bigger and better centre-back to try and counteract that a little bit?
Yeah, I think when you look at Camavinga, like he covers a lot of ground, and he's a player who's very good in the tackle, and his passing stats are very good too. You hit the nail on the head. If you have Varane and Maguire at centre-back, you have 2 distributors from the back, and you have 2 very, very good defenders in the air as well. And you've Varane, who's robust, where if we do get caught in transition, his position is very good. And Harry Maguire is very good in that regard as well. Not in terms of pace, but in terms of being in the right place at the right time. If you have Camavinga, he's a player who can take a ball under pressure and distribute it quickly. Like if you have Varane and Maguire as well, they can step out with the ball and actually get the ball out to the midfielders. Whereas when you have Lindelof there, Lindelof takes 1, 2, 3, 4 too many touches and puts McTominay and Fred under pressure, which they're not capable of taking, the ball under pressure. Thing about this is you can probably get away with it when you have Varane at the back. Because as you said, it's a Van Dijk-esque type of defender who can give you that security where your midfield can be a bit more kind of, I suppose, loose, and they can kind of get forward a bit more and kind of join in the attack. The thing about this is Premier League, will Camavinga adjust to that role early on? It's hard to say. But you look at our fixtures up until October, he's not playing the Liverpools, the Arsenals, Chelsea's.
No, mate, he's got a lot of different. On that note, Camavinga, mate, touching on that, obviously the Pogba deal, we spoke about this on the podcast the other day. It is a key one to this summer, because if you bought in a Camavinga, you've then got, if realistically we look at it and go, we get Varane, which I think we can do. Varane behind Camavinga, Pogba next to him. He's got a lot of support there, mate. He's in a very, very comfortable position.
Martial as well, another Frenchman as well.
Yeah. If it was the right time to come to United for a youngster from France, then if the likes of Varane come in, you've already got Pogba there, then you know what? It's not bad time. It's not a bad time to come in, because you've got people out there. Then the expectation level won't be as high as what we've already got in the team. I mean, Sancho's in. You bring in Varane, you're expecting big things. You could have 2 European, 3, 4, 5 European Championship winners coming back into this squad next season, Keane, mate. The expectation levels are going up, but not as much for these younger players right now. Whereas last season, mate, we were hoping that they would be the saviour. The pressure has gone up on Ole because money's being spent. And if these players and England do have the tournament that we all pray that we are going to have and finish it, we have got some serious winners coming back to this squad next season, mate. So the pressure isn't so much on the younger players as much as it was last year. It would be on the performers and these players that are looking like Shaw's, Sancho's, Maguire's, Rashford, not as much, but you know what I mean, that all these players coming back with this experience and this trophy behind them, that could be massive for our progress going forward next season, mate. We've actually started to get a few winners in the team. You had Varane to that. Jesus Christ, mate. The guy's won absolutely everything. You're pretty much going to have in that squad there, what? Pogba, Varane, World Cup winners. We're not counting the hair out of this at the moment. He's obviously getting that for an experience this summer. He's not played much, but think of the international trophies and experience that some of these guys in our squad and starting lineup next season are going to have. And we say we've got a young team, but really, mate, if everything goes how we're talking right now, we should have some serial winners and some massive, massive experience in our squad to help these young players.
I think you get Varane in there, right? We kind of get that. The Sancho deal, I think, boosts that dressing room tenfold anyway, because he's an exciting player, very good attacking player. And like you seen the other night for England, he's cash money. But Varane is just different level. He's a mentality monster. He really is. And as you said, he's won everything that he can win at club level, and he's won a World Cup as well. You look at the English players, and Shaw's having the tournament of his life. For me, been probably, aside from Pogba, probably been the player of the tournament. Like, you can maybe argue for Locketti for Italy as well. Like, they've been very good. Like, Shaw's been unbelievable. Like, and then you also have to consider as well, yes, you don't have, let's say, kind of younger players, Greenwood's, and that they haven't won much. Rashford hasn't won much, but they're in and around these winners. Bruno didn't have the best Euros, but he's had an unbelievable kind of year and a half at Man United. You have Edison Cavani there as well, Adam, who is a very experienced player, who's won a lot in his career. Now, I know Matic isn't going to be starting every week, but you have him in the dressing room as a winner as well. Like, there's a lot of experience in that dressing room. I think Ollie, if he gets Varane in, there's a mentality shift, I think. And it kind of entices Paul Pogba to stay at the football club. If we really show ambition, we could really push on next year.
I mean, Danielle Gordon there. Sancho, Varane, Camavinga is a trophy-winning transfer window. I kind of agree with that, knowing what we've got in youngsters. That is, for me, the perfect blend of experience and youth. The power and pace in that team. There is only one man who can ruin that. And this is exactly what Nate is getting at here, the ultimate concern. All that said, Ollie calling the shots. The pressure, Keane. I know we said it last season, mate. Seriously, if this window goes the way it's going, mate, I don't think any United fan deep down would go, you know what? I want Ollie to do really, really well. I hope he turns it around. I hope he rotates. I hope he realises his mistakes from last season. But if it doesn't, and it doesn't work out, I don't think any United fan can go, you know what? We're being a bit harsh on him here. He's had longer than anyone else post-Ferguson. And let's be honest, mate, these players in this squad that we've got now, another manager coming in, after Ollie, if it doesn't go right, I think would be licking his lips, mate. Seriously, because the potential is ridiculous. If you add to that defence and midfields and Sancho, mate, we talked about it the other day. The man was just filth. To come in from the cold, start his first game and absolutely dominate and do the stuff he did. We have got serious, serious players in this team, mate, and it now falls down on Ollie. I know the window's not done yet, and this might not happen, but Sancho alone is a massive, massive boost to this team, mate. Ollie now has to look at it and go, right, okay, I've got no excuse. I've got players coming back, and I said this in the title of this video, Keen, mate. Dare I say it, Manchester United actually have no excuse. We should be actually ready for the start of this season, mate. There's no travelling pre-season, no stupid tour. We've got 4 games on home turf, well, not on home turf, but in England, not too far. Simple pre-season, mate. If he gets this transfer window right, and we can do this business now in these next couple of weeks, man, we should be ready to rock, Keen.
Yeah, definitely. And you look at our fixture list between August and October. We're not playing any of the big guns really until October. We can get a good run together if we do get our transfer window right. I think this summer could be the most progressive summer we've had since he's come in, because you look at the signings he didn't get in the last 2 years, but he still managed to get third and second. Look, I think every United fan wants him to do well. I want him to do well. Adam wants to do well. Everyone does, because, you know, he's a Man United legend. Like, he's someone who's live, breathe, sleeps Man United. He gets, obviously, all the players he wants this summer. Yes, the pressure is going to be cranked up because, look, he's finally got back to it the full degree by the Glazers in a transfer window. The pressure is always going to be there. You're a Man United manager. You need to obviously cope with that pressure. But if you get these players in, it's really adding to what the squad that's nearly there. And I've always remained consistent with this. We already got our Solskjaer. Regardless of what happens this season, the next man that's going to come in after him will not have to go through a transitional period. Because there's a squad there that's nearly on the cusp of winning the big trophies. You just need to add the finishing touches.
And I think the foundation, mate. Is he? Are we looking at him as the future, or are we? Honestly, realistically, I've seen Ollie as laying the foundations for the next man. That's how I seen it when he came in. I know the club are trying to talk like we're giving him a chance. I mean, any institution as big as Manchester United, no one gets to do their first job and learn at Manchester United. I think we've got a good structure compared to how we finished it with Fergie and what happened after Fergie. We seem to have slowly but surely got the backroom staff in place. Yeah, his coaches and stuff. That will change if a new manager did come in. We know that can change like that at one decision from the club. Getting rid of all of that can change. But it's the people upstairs, like the Myrtle. Are we seeing things happening right now? But guys, before I do jump off that, it's just reminded me, our sponsors, football prizes, are knocking out. Believe it or not, this signed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer t-shirt from last season's black kit. It is £4.95 a ticket, guys. The description below has the link. Do drop down in there. Click on that. Use your promo code MADRED10. Get your discount on your prizes. Get this shirt, guys. It's probably one of the nicest shirts we've had. Whether you like Solskjaer or not, the image is at the bottom of him as a player. So look at it that way. That's all I'll say if there's any Ollie outers watching this program right now. Just remember what he did as a player and them images and go with that. But cheers for the sponsor for dropping that one in as well. Oh, I mean, this is it, mate. This is it. I'm looking at it going, watching everyone else and all the other United fans channels and whatnot saying that it's unrealistic now that we can get Camavinga and a Varane. I don't think it's unrealistic at all.
No.
It's unrealistic if you're not willing to be brutal and realistic with who leaves the football club. And people clinging on to their fairy tale players like De Gea, Lingard, Matic. Dare I say it? I know I'm getting rid of myself, but guys, let's be honest. If we want to move forward and you want to see the best players, then stop moaning when we start talking about old players leaving. Seriously, guys, give me 1 second because I think it's just started to lash it down and my door's open. 1 second.
Anything can happen on YouTube, lads, weather permitting and all.
That was a close one. Seriously, Manchester. My God. Talk about a summer evening. We've had about 8 foot of rain, I think, over the last week. It's ridiculous, man.
The same here in Ireland, man. It was lashing all day yesterday. It was lashing earlier on. It looks very bad out there now as well.
Do you know what that means, mate? That means England are going to win the Euros. Because every time it's sunny in these major competitions, we don't win it. But it's been proper miserable weather. And now we're bringing back all these countries to Wembley to finish them off in this crap weather, mate. That's what we're doing, I'm telling you. That's it. You're going to win it. But, guys, at the start of the video, I did say I wanted your opinions. Now we've got a few people in the room. Give me your FIFA summer. And by that, I mean, do your obvious. Sell him, swap him, make the money there, bring him in. Give me yours in the comments now. We're going to bring a few of these up. We're going to get Keane's ideal one right now. Obviously, we're going to have to start with Sancho coming in. So, guys, get in the comments and let me know. Give me 3 or 4 out to make 3 or 4 come in, possibly 3. Let's just say, keeping it simple, Varane, Camavinga, and Sancho. There are your 3 coming in. Who do you swap, get rid of, move around to make that happen? Get yours in the comment now. Keane, mate, we've not got rid of anyone yet. So we've got options, mate. We've got value. We talked about Dalot. We brought in Lingard, possibly. De Gea, which way are you going with it, mate? The guys
Lingard
in there
definitely.
banging them out already.
Lingard for me definitely, because like the wage he has, 120k a week. Look, I think from his point of view, he needs first team football first and foremost. He's in his prime, 28 years of age. Had a great second half of the season West Ham. So I'd like to see him go on and succeed elsewhere. Look, for me, I seen a report yesterday, Manchester Evening News said to have De Gea on loan. Which
I've seen that.
I've been speaking this into existence, Adam, with the last 6 weeks, because he's going to be hard to sell this summer. I'm saying this now, and you said a FIFA moment, but we did the exact same with Alexis Sanchez. We loaned him out first, and he was on 300 and something K a week, and then he had a good
season.
he was willing to take the wage cut after that because he was happy in his surroundings. So for me, my three would definitely be Lingard, De Gea on loan to resolve the goalkeeping position for 12 months, give Dean Henderson the year, and obviously Phil Jones out the door. There you go. Yeah. And you give Varane that number 4 shirt. 100%.
Oh, God. Yeah, a lot of people going there, a lot coming in handies there. Jones, James, Lingard out. You know what? You've probably got 40 million there, haven't you? You would say.
And 45 for Lukaku to come in as well.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, Andre Ford there, Jones, Dalot, Lingard. You've definitely got 50, 60 million right there, surely. See what I mean, guys? This is what these people saying, that it's unrealistic that United can get these 3 players. Big Ron, sell Lingard and Dan James to Leicester. Try and get Tielemans and Ndidi in return. That would be a big
FIFA.
try.
That's FIFA right there. That's about 200 million. Ron, I'm telling you that now. That's nearly 200 million for Ndidi and Tielemans alone. We paid 80 for McGuire. What do you think they're going to charge us then to?
Sell Phil Jones to a China club. Yes, I like it. Oh, God, them days, remember? Oh, like Chelsea used to bank on that, didn't they? That's
the Chinese league, though, they do. They have like a salary cap now, like La Liga too, and they can have players. I think you can only have like 2 or 3 players from overseas.
Yeah,
they can't. I think they have like a big financial fair play thing there now. That market, I think, is kind of not as inflated as it used to be. Remember Chelsea? They sold Oscar, was it for 70 million or something?
My God,
to Shanghai.
Was it the Southampton striker as well?
Graziano Pella, was it?
Yeah, Graziano Pella. Oh man, the guy was on. I think he was on $500,000 a week or something like that. There's one there for you. Martial, Bailly, and Lingard, Keane. Varane comes in. Where does that leave Bailly, mate? Does that put him 4th in the pecking order?
Yeah, could be. Villarreal are interested in him, but the only way they're interested. Yeah, but the only thing about it is, here's the caveat though. That's only Pau Torres goes, but I do not want to see him anywhere near this football club after watching this Euros.
The Euros, I do not want to see him. Convinced every United fan on him, mate. I think you're not alone there, Keane. Definitely not.
I was an advocate for 6 weeks ago after watching the Europa League final. Watching teams go direct against Spain. I'm just looking at us away to Brentford, away to Brighton, away to Burnley. Imagine him in Burnley away. Oh, Christ above.
No, mate. It'd be like De Gea coming to the club for that first year, mate, when he just looked like a kid. He looked like a kid in 4 age groups down. Lingard, Dalot, Martial, and Jones, says Danielle. Jones rip up the contract. Yes. I don't think we're going to be able to sell Jones, are we? I think that's realistic.
Newcastle were interested at starting the window.
Steve Bruce would seriously be doing us one there, man. Absolute legend if he takes Jones off our books, mate. His status would be flying of United fans.
I'll ask you a question.
Young.
I'll ask you a question. Would that be as iconic as his winning goal?
Which winning goal?
Against Sheffield Wednesday. Bruce's winning goal against Sheffield Wednesday.
About Jones then. God.
I was like, would that be as iconic? Like Steve Bruce scoring that winner against Wednesday or him taking Phil Jones?
2 of the best headers I've ever seen at a football match was Steve Bruce against Sheffield Wednesday. Oh my God. Absolute. That when he came in like a steam train for that second goal, it was just like parting the Red Sea. Get out of my way. That's mine. In it goes. We had some brilliant headers of the ball back in the 90s. My God. His lows going in. This is the thing here. It's like Vera there says Pogba. That's a big one this summer for us.
No.
That needs to get sorted very quickly, doesn't it? That. And we talked about this with Said and Owen on Sunday in the podcast. It was, I don't want to get into it too much again, but it does seem like he is sort of pivotal to the summer on what we actually do. Yeah. Oh yeah, Ash. Let's not forget Van Persie's header for the Netherlands in the World Cup. No, that was probably one of the best I've seen.
I was watching that. I always seen that goal today. It came up my Twitter timeline. I was so dreams that daily blind ball into Van Persie, and Van Gaal was our manager. I was thinking, oh Jesus Christ.
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. Van Persie in that first season. This is it. Taggart, mate, I don't know. Why does United not sell Deadwood? We've never seemed to, mate, do we? They just cling on. Let's not forget, we've got to try and flog Pereira as well. It does look like we're actually making business in terms of sorting out the young lad. How good was it seeing the youth team on the training ground as well, and pictures this week, seeing all the boys back?
Yeah, I love that.
That actually got me going a little bit. That like, all right, I'm nearly ready for this.
And you see, there's about 9 of them are in the first team squad for pre-season.
Mate, it's what needs to happen. It's what needs to happen. Forget some of these Euro players. They're going to be fully rested. I think we may see them possibly for the Everton-Brentford game. A few of them, the likes of probably McTominay, James, the ones who went early. Pogba and Bruno, Fernandes. Possibly. But do you know what I mean? It's good, but I'm looking at it going, there we've got Mengi, looks like he's going back to Derby. I think that's a good move. Garnoff, I think he's going to end up back at Forest.
I think what all he's doing with him is he's assessing him for the pre-season and seeing where he's at before they kind of make a decision on the Forest deal.
The thing is, and then we've got big ones to sort out. Then it's like, does Diallo stay? Does he go out on loan? It's like, seriously. Honestly, for that amount of money and the talent the guy's got, I'd want him around, but I wouldn't want him in a match day squad if he's not going to play. And don't forget, we're going back to normality next year, guys, as well. So these big benches aren't going to be happening anymore. Your match day squads, I mean, our squad last year, I think at times, with the amount of subs we had, which was, I think you had about 7 to 9 on the bench, didn't you, or something?
8 or 9 on the bench, yeah.
Yeah, and Lingard wasn't even making that. So, do you know what I mean? With all these players coming back and these youth players, who is going to make that bench? Because don't forget, you've got Sancho now. We're talking about Juan Mata getting a deal. I don't see him making our bench. I don't see him getting on it at all. He's behind James, Sancho, Greenwood. How many players on that right-hand side do you want? Do you know what I mean? Unless he's going to do a job behind Bruno, but I don't think he can do
Donny.
it.
You have Donny is at number 10 if he doesn't.
As well. Donny, there's too many.
And Camavinga comes in. Like, I think Juan Mata's probably there. Like, I think probably we already discussed this, not on the show, but we discussed it over WhatsApp. Is like, I think the reason why Mata's staying is because he's going to do his coaching badges and he's going into an ambassadorial role as well once he kind of, finishes up here. But like, look. I think that the indication of that is he's probably not going to play much football. The fact of the matter is he's after getting docked 90k in his new contract. So, like, I think that indicates to many people we're probably going to see Juan Mata probably play. I'm saying this now and you can clip this up. He's probably going to play about 5 games next season. I'm saying that now. 5 games next season he's probably going to play.
Yeah. Who's that? Donny?
Mata.
Oh, God. Man, I think Donny's on that as well. Looking at the way things are going, I honestly don't see how Donny gets into this team. I know where I would play him, but I'm being realistic and looking at how it went last season. If you're adding quality to that front line, then I don't see, because I know that Sancho is an Ollie signing. That's a definite one. I think we can all say, yes, that's an Ollie signing. 100% that one. I know there's debate on a few of the others, but that one for me, 100%. He's got then, I don't see him getting into the holding midfield role. He never drops Fred and McTominay. He'll put Pogba there before Donny. And if he brings in a Camavinga, does he feel like he has to play him for the way he's performed and the hype behind it? Because Pogba's come out now waxing lyrical about him as well. So, mate, I fear for Donny next season. I know he's in there doing his weights and training hard and getting ready. I appreciate a loan deal for him. Might not be a million miles off, mate. I don't think it will.
I think that loan deal is possible. Like, look, the fact Madrid wanted him as well last 2 years. You know, I think United offered Ajax a bit more as well at the time, and obviously Edwin van der Sar having that United link, obviously it was an easier deal to do for us than them. I think Donny did prove towards the end of last season that he could play in a deeper role. You can, and I think you look at the 10 role. Bruno's knackered. Depends how we see him come back in pre-season. But I think for Donny here, this pre-season is massive. Like between now and August, when the couple of games he plays, can he force Ollie's hand? Because he didn't have a pre-season last year. He didn't with United. He came in during a time where there's a lot of kind of uncertainty. Like we know how we started last season. He didn't get time to bed in.
Helping him, that was it either.
Yeah, so I think this pre-season for Donny van de Beek is crucial. I think he can be tried in a lot of different positions. And the fact of the matter is, you touched on it, we're playing a lot of our games in England against formidable opposition. So maybe Donny can show in this pre-season that he can be a United player. But if not, then look, I wouldn't begrudge. Like, he's a good player. I wouldn't begrudge him if he wanted to leave because, look, you don't want to be like. I'd question any top player and their ambition to sit in the bench if you want to have international aspirations. Because the thing about it is, there's a World Cup next winter, like 2022. He's going to want to be in the running for that. Because I know he was in the Dutch squad, but he wasn't a guaranteed first team player because of his lack of football at United. So if he doesn't, maybe, if he's told at the start of the season, after pre-season, he's not in the reckoning, then maybe a loan move to Madrid isn't a bad thing. Because again, like, people can talk about if he's not good enough for United, he's not good for Madrid. Madrid have an aging midfield. Modric is 36 years of age. He's not going to be able to play every game, every week. They're shoehorning Valverde into a right-back position. But if they don't get Delo, there's going to be opportunities for Donny playing the 10.
Here's one for you then before we go. Would you literally offload Van der Beek and Dalot in one for Varane?
Yeah. Because if you get Camavinga in, you have a player for Van der Beek to replace Van der Beek. And United are going to have a right back in Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They have Laird there who can be a reasonable backup.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the window, if United have funds freed up, there may be a scenario where United may bring in Trippier anyway. Do I think that scenario could happen? And I think Dalot isn't a player who for me can be a Man United right back. I don't think he's going to be given the time to get enough games to develop because he's young. Whereas, look, I think you look at the situation with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, if he has a good season next year, like he had in his first season, I do not see Diogo Dalot being in Man United right back. And you look at Bruno Fernandes in the number 10 role for Man United. Can I foresee Donny van de Beek taking his place as starting 11 permanently? No, I can't. If Pogba stays, do I see Donny van de Beek taking Pogba's position permanently? No.
Yeah.
Can Donny play as a 6? I don't think so. I don't think he can play there as a lone number 6 beside a Pogba in that setup. I don't think so. Yeah. So I think for me, not that, look, it's nothing against our football club or it's nothing against Donny as a player. I think if any quality midfielder has ambitions to play internationally and kind of develop, because he's still only 24, he's going on 24, 25. He still has a lot of quality that he can play in La Liga. He can play probably in Italy. He can probably go to Germany, to maybe even to a Dortmund or someone like that because they were interested. Donny can still play at the top level. Just because it doesn't work out at Man United doesn't mean he can't play at the top level. There's a lot of players who've left their football club and prospered elsewhere. I wouldn't begrudge him. I wouldn't begrudge him. I wouldn't begrudge Ollie because there's things where players are suited to certain football clubs. That doesn't mean they're a bad player.
True.
Things happen for a reason. Setups happen.
That's it. We've got about 5 minutes left on the video, guys, because we all want to sit down and watch that semi-final, don't we? So get your questions in now, guys. This is your chance to get your question in for me and Keane. Raul's in with the first one. I'll bring this up. Adam, do you think Martial will make it into the starting 11 unless we face any injury? I think the start of the season, knowing who's been on European duty, this is Martial's opportunity, because I look at it, I go, Rashford probably going to get that operation. He's not going to be there. We're looking at Sancho. He's going to get an extended rest, I think, and won't start the season. Then we're looking at Bruno just about coming back. And what have we got left? Cavani's not going to come straight back in because of his exploits in South America. We've got Greenwood there. So realistically, the start of the season, Martial needs to pull his finger out of his ass and actually prove that he is worth keeping, because let's not forget the transfer window runs on as normal this season into the season by a few weeks, and a lot can happen and a lot of interest can come about. So Martial, in a way, could either solidify his place in the team in these first few games, or he could actually bump his price tag up, Keane.
Yeah,
it really could. I mean, this is his. I think everyone's saying this is his last year to really prove it. Well, he's got a chance right at the start of the season, mate, because I don't think anyone else is going to be in his way until we really kick into the season.
You hit the nail on the head. Number one, Rashford's going to be surgery. I think he's going to be up for like 6 to 8 weeks at the start of the season, all depending on when he gets the surgery. That's the left-hand side. Up front, he said Cavani's literally just knocked out Copa America. He's actually 34 now, 35. He's going to need time to rest between now and August, because he's been playing bang on all year and he came back from an injury before he came into Man United's team. He's going to need time to rest. This is crucial for Martial. And look, if he doesn't cut the mustard this year, you have to say, look, we've had you since 2015. You haven't, really cut the mustard fully to your full potential, that ceiling that was there. You let him go. But look, I'm willing to give him a chance, because last season there was a lot of things happening. He had injuries. He was in and out of the team. And look, there was times where he was out of form, but he was plagued by injury a lot last year. Hence why we had to play Rashford a lot as well. So I'd give him a chance this year, but look, again, with the likes of Sancho there, with the likes of Rashford there, if they hit form, it's going to be very hard for Martial to get into the team, because United are grooming Greenwood to be that number 9. That's no secret.
Well, I know I'm pretty certain now. I know Wally would pick Greenwood ahead of Martial.
Oh, 100%. I probably would as well.
Yeah, and I've not decided yet, actually, mate, if I'm going to the friendlies. Cheers for the question, mate. I take it you're going, Andy. If anyone is going to the friendlies, do let me know. I'm hoping I'm going to catch up with a few people this season. Would you take anyone from Barcelona right now in the predicament and the cap and them having to offload quite a bit, mate?
Easily.
Which players would you go for?
Frankie de Jong. Defensive midfield. 100%. 100%. If that deal can be done. Camavinga, I'm really sorry. I know you're a prospect, but Frankie de Jong, defensive midfield, that solves problems that we have at the club. One player, obviously, I would say as well, Starlord has said it in the comments, Ansu Fati. If you get him in, his ceiling is really high.
Messi.
Yeah,
I know. We'll go for it.
£1 million
in wages, but
£1.3 million a week. Why not? Though, imagine that'd be a great parting gift. Ed Woodward, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Danielle says, would you start any of the youngsters over Martial? I think you would, Keane, wouldn't you, mate?
Well, you can count Greenwood as a youngster, couldn't you? He's still, 19?
Well, let's bring in, let's say Diallo, Solskj&ael. Who else can we bring in there? Elanga. Let's see them 3. Would any of them 3 get a chance at the start of the season?
I'd love to say Hannibal, but you look at number 10. Bruno Donny. He doesn't have a chance, really. I think that Galatasaray loan move could be a great one. I'd love to see short hire maybe towards when the fixture list gets congested. I'd love to see him get a chance, because he's a player who has still a lot of technical ability, and he's a very good player. But Ashton said Elanga there. Do you see the pictures of Elanga? working in pre-season, he looks like he's getting his body ready for senior football. He looks like someone who's going to take it serious.
There's a few players beefing up.
Joe Hugill.
This pre-season.
Do you see Joe Hugill last season? He was really skinny and like really tall. He's really after beefing himself up as well. And there was talk that Ollie's really going to have a good look at Joe Hugill, from his, for a striker perspective, to maybe have in and around the squad. Like, he's something different as well.
There, Danielle. Yeah, definitely. 100%, mate. Hugo looks the one. And then season after, mate, maybe we see Charlie McNeil come through as well. I mean, I would love to see Charlie break into some of the Carabao Cup matches this season.
I'd love to see Adam, because he's only in the 18s. I'd love to see with McNeil, ideally this year, because he only came into the 23s. Towards the latter scale of last season, he played a lot of his football in the 18s. I'd like to see him and Hugill up front for the 23s next season, because they're two different styles of play, and get him acclimatized to 23s football this season. But the year after, I definitely think McNeil pre-season next year, get him in there.
He looks the deal, doesn't it? And it's like I said there, Danielle's just announced it. Teams are coming out. So, guys, we are going to get cozy and get ready for the semi-final. It has been a top video again. Thanks to Keen coming on. Obviously, Keen, just give the people a shout out to your podcast and where they can catch you and your show.
Yeah, so you can catch me on the weekly Armchair Sports Talk podcast. If anyone who's an MMA fan here, I am on the podcast. I have 2 exclusive interviews coming up this week. Spoke to Bellator fighter Ryan Spillane, and I've also spoke to Conor McGregor's training partner John Mitchell. And we talked about Conor McGregor's fight coming up this Saturday, UFC 264. So if anyone who's a fight fan, check that out, because we got great insight to Conor McGregor's preparation coming into this Saturday's fight.
Brilliant stuff. Guys, drop down into the description below for all the information and stuff we've touched on, including the signed Ollie shirt as this week's prize, sponsored by sponsors for the channel, Football Prizes. Everything else and all the other information on the channel is down there in the description. Guys, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, share on your socials, and let me know, what would you do when a video goes up on YouTube? Drop your comments in there. What players would you out to bring in the 3 that we're all talking about, being Varane, Sancho and Camavinga, ideally? For now, guys, we are done. Enjoy the semi-final, and come on, England. Tomorrow's a big one. Come on. Guys, we're out of here. See you later.